I am the Watcher, and it is my duty to watch what transpires across the myriad realities similar to your own. My curse is to always witness and never participate. I must be true to this mission even on the brink of Armageddon, such as it was a fateful day for the Saiyan race. The tale of the tale. What if Goku was in Marvel Comics?
The Saiyan race were anything but peaceful. Great warlords were born from planet Vegeta. They would conquer and sell off planets to the highest bidder. This, of course, made them a despised race. They were divided in different levels depending on birth. The lowest class would often be sent off to tedious missions that more often than not ended up in death. In this particular day, the low-class squadron of Bardock was taking over a huge planet. It was daytime, having spent most of the night destroying the civilians as giant monkeys. His squad was enjoying a meal, while Bardock headed to his pod to prepare the coordinates for planet Vegeta. He even called his wife, Gine, who was a butcher at planet Vegeta. However, an earthquake began to shake the whole planet. Bardock hung up quickly and tried to rush back to his friends. However, the harsh winds made it difficult to get there. All he could do is see the continent get swallowed by the planet's core. Bardock couldn't get to his allies. He could only retreat to planet Vegeta on his pod. However, he turned to see one last time and checked his scouter. It read the team's power level quickly hitting 0. Then, his scouter exploded. Another giant power had spiked up. As his ship traveled to the native world, Bardock could see a giant figure. The planet they were on wasn't too far from planet Vegeta. It would be only a matter of time before the being took down his own world. He had to warn the other Saiyans. Bardock soon arrived, and instantly went to his wife. He told her everything, and they both agreed to take their son to safety. Kakarot was blasted off into space, to a world far, far away. On the way to take him to a safe location to blast them off, however, they were met with resistance by the other Saiyans, who didn't believe his story. He was called crazy. Gine managed to save their son, but was shot down by King Vegeta. As soon as the ship left atmosphere, the king saw this as some kind of rebellion. Prince Vegeta witnessed this. Bardock damned the king and tried to attack him. However, the planet began to shake. Bardock said, "You imbeciles, it's too late now. He's here!" The prince's eyes widened as the giant figure of Galactus' ship loomed over the world. Bardock rushed to space, blasting at it. He was accompanied by a few other Saiyans, but they were all evaporated. Planet Vegeta's fate had been sealed. In its final few moments, the king retreated back to his headquarters, leaving even his own son there to die. The prince, however, was much more composed than his father. He went alone to Galactus as the planet was beginning to get consumed. He kneeled before the Planet Eater. Prince Vegeta offered his allegiance to Galactus. Vegeta had already been abandoned by his father, who was cold and sadistic to begin with. Vegeta never cared much for his people either. He simply wanted to learn from this power, even have a portion of it. He offered his loyalty in exchange for his own life. As Planet Vegeta blew up, Prince Vegeta was gifted with cosmic energy, becoming a herald of Galactus. Meanwhile, the pod where Bardock's son was housed in landed on a distant planet named Earth. The ship crash-landed in a land stuck in the past, where dinosaurs roamed freely. Though a few humans lived there, dinosaurs ruled the land. Indeed, Kakarot had landed in the Savage Land. The boy exited the pod and was soon attacked by a pterodactyl. However, he was able to defeat him and kill the enemy with a swift kick. Kakarot would be raised in this land for 14 years, where he got respect and fear from its inhabitants, thanks to his power. Every full moon, Kakarot would turn into an Ozaru, a giant monkey creature that would attack anything in its path until morning. He was very lonely growing up, as any human would be afraid of him. Even the beasts he would become fond of would mysteriously die off, and Kakarot would not remember anything. Sadly, it was Kakarot himself, as an Ozaru, that would kill them. But as if it were destiny, Magneto would soon arrive at the Savage Land. He had just landed there from a strange ship. Thankfully, he had managed to crash land the ship in a familiar land to him. Magneto had been there sometime prior and had plans for it. Using alien technology, his plan was to mutate the natives and take on the X-Men. However, as he began to execute his plan one night, his base was destroyed by an Ozaru. Magneto had heard of this creature, and now he realized that it was truly a demon. He wouldn't be able to stop the monster, and was forced to retreat. Once morning arrived, Magneto headed back to the attack site, where he found the 14-year-old Kakarot. He deduced that this kid was the cause of his problems, and realized that he had a tail. It was obvious to Eric. The kid was a mutant. Magneto took it upon himself to take care of the boy, giving him clothes and teaching him English. Kakarot wasn't very good at it and ended up with some kind of weird accent. Magneto continued his plan. While taking care of Kakarot, the boy was very rowdy, but Magneto wouldn't take his outbursts kindly. Magneto would probably name him something like Ansel, or something like that, but I'll keep calling him Goku from now on, just to make it easy on myself. Magneto would allow Goku to join the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, where he was very much loved by Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, considering them as family. In this universe, they are mutants, and they will remain so. He got to learn how to fight a little thanks to them. Wanda and Pietro would use their various abilities to play and train with the kid. They took a great liking to him, as they were no longer the youngest ones in the Brotherhood. Quicksilver's speed and Wanda's energy projection were a great influence on Goku. His Saiyan heritage allowed him to easily pick up on many of their own techniques, as he mimicked them. For example, one day Goku tried to do like Wanda and fire an energy sphere. He ended up accidentally hitting Toad. Anyhow, Goku is still very different from what we know him as. At least for now, as he truly loves doing evil things with the Brotherhood. The destruction and even death made him excited. Goku's code name turned out to be Monkey King, but Magneto would not use the Ozaru even against the X-Men, as he thought it was way too dangerous to control. Goku would always be forced to stay inside during a full moon, not like a monkey-tailed boy could just go out anyways. On one of their various attacks on the X-Men, Jean Grey realized just how handsome he was. She had always been into the tough, animalistic type of men. She even mentioned something about it to Scott, to which Angel and Cyclops argued about it. They both got a real dislike to that monkey fella. Professor X was puzzled by the kid. He wanted to save him, teach him to control his mutation. However, Cerebro could never pick up on him. Could his secondary mutation be something that repealed Cerebro? He wasn't sure. The Brotherhood was defeated time and time again, and most of the members were captured or left the crew. Eventually, Goku and Magneto returned to the Savage Land, where Magneto finished his mutates. The X-Men arrived much later than they should have, and it so happened that it was a full moon that night. Though Magneto warned Goku to stay inside while the battle ensued, he did not want to stay behind, as he heard screams and laughter. Magneto realized that Goku had stepped out, and he screamed at the boy.
No, go back inside.
It was too late, however. The blood waves emitted already took over the boy. Goku transformed into a monstrous ape, and the base around Magneto crumbled onto the ground, seemingly killing him. However, the X-Men had more serious matters at their hands. The Ozaru was relentless in his attack. Cyclops' blast hurt him, but it only made him angrier. Angel could do little but annoy him. Beast could at least protect the others from punches, and Iceman could freeze him in place, while the others tried something. In the end, Marvel Girl was the one to take him down. Using her limited telepathic abilities, she's able to calm down the Ozaru, dazing him until morning. However, Jean had seen something strange while in Goku's mind. Jean? Hey, what's wrong?
We need to take this kid, whatever he is.
He turned into that once he saw the full moon. Maybe he'll return once it turns to morning.
The X-Men waited all night, until finally he returned back to normal. Thankfully, Magneto had created a special suit for him to change size, so that means he wasn't naked. The X-Men took the boy with them, and into Xavier's school. The professor had previously been thought dead, but he was somehow there to greet his X-Men. After various hugs, Jean tells the professor what she saw inside of Goku's mind. The professor was very impressed by her powers, but worried by what she had seen. A world being burned from the inside out, screams of a man and a woman calling out for someone named Kakarot, and finally, a blast off into space. But there was something more, a true desire to take over the world and kill humans, as if programmed onto him. It wasn't active, per se, but it definitely affected the boy. The professor hooked up Goku onto a machine, as he took care of him. Suddenly, he woke up, and instantly went to attack the professor. Xavier stopped him dead in his tracks, simply with his mind.
Goku, I am not your enemy. I am Professor Xavier, but of course you already knew that. I'm sure Magneto has been telling you a lot about me. Well, there are some things I need to discuss with you.
Goku did not want to hear it, and as soon as the professor let him go, he stormed out of the room. Goku was tackled out the window by Beast, who packed quite a punch. Goku felt a rush of adrenaline, and the two began a small fight. Beast was too agile for Goku, but he managed to use his tail to his advantage. He was having a lot of fun, laughing as he fought. Beast tackled him onto the wall, where Goku simply laughed as the stuff crumbled onto him.
Now that you've had your fun, perhaps we can talk?
Beast extended out his hand, and Goku took it. Cyclops stared him down, upset as Jean helped Goku to the Professor. The Professor explained that himself and Magneto are fighting for mutant rights, but in different ways. However, it's not Goku's fight. Goku's eyes widened, as Xavier said,
I was always curious. After our various encounters, I would search Cerebro for you. I always thought you were a mutant, but no, you're an alien. A Saiyan from what I could gather in your mind.
Goku didn't know what to make of this, but he felt compelled to believe the Professor. He asked where Magneto was, and everyone stayed silent for a second. It seemed that, in his Ozaru form, Goku had killed Magneto. Goku was devastated, and promised to himself that he would control his power, some way, somehow, because he didn't want anything like that to happen again. He cared for Magneto deeply. But even if that was true, the Professor was still his enemy. Magneto was his friend, his father. The Professor tried to tell him that Magneto really was a good person, but his methods were too extreme to follow. Professor X said that Magneto just seems to be missing. They don't know yet if he's truly dead. But even so, he should probably stay with the X-Men. At least for now. Goku didn't like it, but agreed to it. He wanted to learn from the X-Men. Maybe he'd learn their weaknesses and more about himself. Goku would enter the danger room with the X-Men every now and then, and saw the challenges they would endure. It was a lot of fun. Afterwards, Jean and him would often go out and get some ice cream or something. She'd teach him many things about simply being a teenager. This made Angel and Cyclops very upset, and the two tried especially hard to defeat him during training. Jean actually stopped a robbery with her powers while out with Goku once. This made Goku realize that there was some good to be done in this world. The woman they saved, however, hated mutants and told them to get away. This reaffirmed Goku's notion that all Homo sapiens hated mutants. However, as he spent more time with the X-Men, he realized that there's a lot of good people out there, Homo sapiens and Homo superior. He could still relate to the mutants, even if he wasn't one himself. However, his hatred for humans lessened by a lot, especially as Xavier introduced him to different people, including some superheroes. He helped Jean save a man from falling another time. Jean was proud of him for using his powers in such a way. A month passed with the X-Men, and Goku had been out with Jean. They were walking back to the mansion when it turned to night. Jean hadn't realized it had been a full moon that night, and Goku became an Ozaru once more. Thankfully, they weren't far from the mansion. Jean tried to daze him like last time, but for some reason it wasn't working. The Professor arrived soon, before much destruction, and he delved deep into the mind of the monster. The Professor was much more developed than Jean in telepathy, and was able to break through Goku's mental barriers. Inside his mind, the Professor was actually able to convince the brain that he was not receiving blood waves anymore, turning Goku back down into a humanoid. Charles took the opportunity to delete the destructive programming from Goku's mind. It hadn't been fully active, but he took the precaution. The next morning, once Goku woke up, the Professor had to have a talk with him. While he would love for him to join in the X-Men, he simply couldn't. He wasn't a mutant. However, he had a friend that would likely help him. After saying goodbye to the X-Men and a kiss on the cheek from Jean, Goku flew over to the Baxter Building in New York. He was greeted by Reed Richards, who said he had heard a lot about him from Professor X. Goku was a lot more calm than usual. He was still curious and hyper, but had no desire to hurt things unlike before. He personally didn't see the change, but Reed did a few tests on him by drawing blood. In the blood, he discovered a cell that was not found in any other known living individual, and it was reproducing rapidly. He couldn't determine what it meant, but he named it S cells. Next, he needed the help from the other Fantastic Four members.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back. And now back to our show.
Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, hit it off right away with Goku. They were both young and looking for thrills. The test was the speed test, and Goku had to race Johnny. Surprisingly, the two were fairly even when it came to speed, with Goku winning by the hair of his head. Later on, Goku revealed that he was going pretty easy on Johnny. I guess he just didn't realize how important these tests actually were to determining his health and stuff. They promised to race again soon. Next was Ben Grimm, the Thing. The test was a strength test. The two had a grand old cloverin' time, with Goku really feeling the punches this time. This event made him realize that there are people much stronger than him out there, and he needs to train even more. Finally, a side test using Sue Storm. the Invisible Woman. Reed hypothesized that Goku might have some kind of different vision than humans. He wasn't completely wrong, but Goku didn't use his eyes. Instead, he felt the energy, the life force of Su. He was able to locate her every time. Unknown to Goku, this was an ability that the Saiyans had used long before him, as the Saiyans would often come in contact with the scrolls and had to develop some kind of skill to locate them without just looking at them. Anyways, Reed was very impressed by this, and he got some good information that would help him in the future. Goku just asked one more thing from Richards: a new suit. He didn't want to be associated with his old self anymore. Reed complied and created a suit to best fit him. A very durable outfit just for him. Goku loved it. Goku wanted to become something else, something better. People like Jean and Reed had taught him that with their powers, they could do some good in the world. He wanted to do just the same. Reed told him about his friend, Steve Rogers. The Avengers had recently disbanded, and they were currently looking for new team members. Surprisingly, most of the new members had been reformed villains, including Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Goku got excited by hearing their name. He hadn't seen his friends ever since Magneto was defeated alongside with the Brotherhood some time ago. Goku was about to fly out the window when Reed stopped him. He told them that he can't allow Goku to just leave like that. His tail and Ozaru transformation was far too dangerous. Goku sighed. Reed gave him a few options. He could either cut his tail, sterilize it, or Reed brought out a small safe. Inside it was a wristband with the number 4 written on it. Goku put it on. Reed told him that he got help from his friend Hank Pym to create this device. It would allow Goku to transform at will by emitting blood waves. However, he should still avoid the moon while he's wearing the wristband, as he could just go insane once again. It might take some time to get used to it and actually control the Ozaru, but this will at least help. Goku was very thankful and promised to come and visit them soon. He left off with a bright smile. Reed told Su that they will have to keep an eye on that guy. When Goku arrived and met the Avengers, Captain America was not very impressed. He was too young, inexperienced, and very difficult to work with. Too naive. Tony, who had left the Avengers but was overseeing the new recruits, actually liked Goku quite a bit. He understood why he sought out the thrills of a good fight and strong opponents. Same reason why Tony loved to put on the suit every day. The adrenaline of it. He told Captain America that he liked this kid. Steve was still not convinced. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver then came in, and they were both excited and happy to see Goku. It was a wonderful reunion. Captain America sighed, and finally agreed to let Goku into the new Avengers lineup. Their first mission? Try and find the Hulk, and get him to rejoin. That's where I'll leave off this story for now. But I did want to say that there's a few things that Goku did that don't necessarily warrant long explanations. For example, Goku was at Reed and Su's wedding. He ate a lot of the food. Reed was very upset, but he kept it to himself. The Thing and Goku would often go at it, fighting each other on the controlled environments. They both had an awesome time doing it, and the Thing felt like Goku was getting stronger every time. Goku met quite a few other heroes as time went by, including Spider-Man. They were both young, so Spider-Man took a liking to him, even though he was a little hard to work with because of his naivete. Peter tried to teach him how to be a normal teen, even if he had to do it under the mask. He also suggested that Goku might need a secret identity, but Goku paid little attention to it. They had a weird contrast to one another. While Spider-Man had all the worries in the world, Goku had no worries at all. He was free to be a superhero, free to roam the world and do whatever he'd like. One day, Spider-Man told him that his aunt was actually very sick, and he was very worried that she's just getting weaker and weaker. Goku didn't understand what he meant, so he just told Peter to get her to train a little. He could help.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back.
I hope you guys are enjoying the video, and if you like the stuff I do, there's a way you can support the channel. By clicking the membership button, you will be able to see various tiers. Each one of them has some rewards. My personal favorite ones are the Super Saiyan hair badges that adorn your name in comments and live streams on my channel. The longer you stay a member, the larger the power up. So if you like the stuff I do and feel like supporting me in some way, be sure to check out the membership. Anyways, back to the show.
Back to our show.
Goku and the other Avengers were in hot pursuit of the Hulk. After the Avengers disbanded, he had been a danger to not only himself, but everyone around him. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were able to slow him down a little, but he just kept on destroying things. They needed to stop him as quickly as possible.
Alright, Hawkeye, you try to trap him while Goku and I flank him from Goku?
No time to waste, Cap!
Before Steve realizes it, Goku had already rushed towards the Hulk. The Saiyan was pumped to see just how powerful the Hulk was. He was about to hit Scarlet Witch, but Goku got his attention by screaming his name. Angry, the Hulk leaped towards Goku to punch him, but Goku caught the punch and pushed him back. The Hulk's eyes widened. No one could simply do that. But then, a smirk turned on his face. Goku kept leading the Hulk far away from civilization as they fought. Though the Hulk was stronger, Goku was not a pushover.
Hulk strongest there is!
Yeah, you are, man. Come on, show me.
Goku was the only one that could take this kind of punishment, but it actually allowed the Hulk to calm down. This was fun for both, and in the end, the Hulk reverted back into Banner. At Avengers HQ, Captain America reprimanded Goku for not sticking with the team and the plan. Goku said sorry, but at least it worked. Captain America couldn't argue with that, but warned Goku that they were a team and needed to act like it. Goku realized that being in a team was really difficult for him. No matter how many operations he went through, Captain America and him were constantly at odds, while Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver tried to keep him calm. Even though he wasn't the best team player, at least in the Avengers sense, his relationship with the other heroes was still strong. The Fantastic Four always welcomed him, and Reed loved whenever he could use them alongside the other members for different testing purposes. The Human Torch and him got along the best, though Goku would often embarrass him while hanging out. He was still trying to get used to living out his life. Sadly, things kept changing for the hero. The person who perhaps was one of his best friends, Spider-Man, had a difficult time talking to him after the death of his girlfriend, Gwen Stacy. Goku had told Peter several times to tell Gwen about his secret, that if he really cared about her, then he could entrust this in her. Unusually profound for Goku, but to be expected, as he had been spending more and more time with other heroes. Peter finally realized that Goku was right, but it was too late. He couldn't face Goku anymore after that, though Goku understood that he needed time. Not long after the X-Men disappeared, Goku was very worried about them, as they were sort of his first team, but he was especially worried about Jean. He asked the professor if he could help in any way, but the changing times showed their face again, as Professor X introduced him to a new team of X-Men. Nightcrawler and Goku met eyes and stared each other down, complimenting each other on their tails. Wolverine didn't have much patience for him, and Storm scared him a little. He resigned to letting them do the job, but pleaded with them to find his friends. He was relieved to hear that they returned the X-Men to safety. However, this gave Goku a lot to think about. Was he strong enough to keep up with his new heroes? I mean, they have a person that controls the weather, for God's sake. He's just some strong guy. This pushed Goku to keep doing his best through the Avengers operations, and both Captain America and himself gained some form of respect for one another. Through this time, him and Jean Grey kept on hanging out and becoming even better friends than before. And then, as far away, a bright figure laughed maniacally. Vegeta always took his time with planet destruction. Unlike the Silver Surfer, he enjoyed the power he had been granted and used it as he wished. However, that meant that he did not train. He had become accustomed to the strength. And from above, the citizens of New York watched as a mirage of glass broke from the sky, and all the shards fell to earth. Out of the mirage burst out Vegeta, who exclaimed vigorously about the glory of Galactus.
Galactus?
Reed Richards said as he watched the events unfold through the Baxter Building's window. He called down the rest of the Fantastic Four, quickly deploying into battle. Once they arrived, they asked Vegeta the meaning of the attack.
Oh, I'm simply here getting this planet ready. After all, we wouldn't want any flies on the food.
The Fantastic Four asked for clarification. Galactus. The name was said once more. Then, Vegeta began blasting the citizens and buildings. Johnny Storm burned furiously as he went in to fire at Vegeta. But the Saiyan was too fast. Vegeta punched Johnny straight down, where the thing caught him. One punch was all it took to knock down the Human Torch. Then, Mr. Fantastic realized something. That being had a tail. It was a Saiyan just like Goku. That meant that his power was incredible, but even more so as a giant monkey. Thinking quickly, Mr. Fantastic called the Avengers. Goku might know what to do. In the meantime, all the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and eventually the X-Men arrived to keep Vegeta at bay any way they could. But Vegeta was having a blast. It seemed like it was all lost to the heroes until the Avengers arrived. Goku landed with a boom in front of Vegeta, Captain America right behind him. Jean Grey's eyes glimmered with hope.
What's the situation, Mr. Fantastic?
He said. Before Mr. Fantastic could respond, Vegeta stepped up to Goku with a smirk.
Ah, Saiyan, you are one of them?
Goku was confused, but he then realized the tail. It was on. Goku kicked Vegeta, tripping him over. However, Vegeta disappeared and reappeared behind Goku, blasting him into a building. Scarlet Witch stopped him in place, keeping him from moving, while Quicksilver rushed at him from every angle, hitting him. This didn't last for long, as Vegeta slowly broke out of Scarlet Witch's power and smashed his fist against her. She was knocked out. Goku burst out of the rubble. He had to take Vegeta away from the city, but the evil Saiyan wouldn't move. The X-Men kept on helping out. Vegeta was very impressed by the likes of Storm, who actually caused them a bit of trouble, as well as Wolverine, who seemed impossible to kill. The main fight continued between Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyan Prince loved having a true challenge in the form of another Saiyan, and pushed Goku very far. Goku was at his edge though, and he saw no other choice than using his secret weapon. Goku looked worried at Reed, who nodded.
Do it, Goku. We have no other choice.
The Saiyan raced on Earth, clicked a button in his wristwatch, sending a burst of blood waves into his body. Goku transformed into a giant monkey.
Huh, an Ozaru without a moon. Now that's impressive. I could do just that, but I don't need it to beat you.
Everyone tried to contain the battle, so no more people would be hurt, while other heroes escorted the civilians out. The Hulk helped out Goku, keeping Vegeta busy, though neither of them could stand up to this powerful man. The fight was intense, and Vegeta punched the Hulk so hard he went flying off. He was rescued, but it was clear that he was no match. Though Vegeta balances himself in order to have a good match against Goku. But clearly Goku was starting to lose, even in this Ozaru form. He was starting to lose his mind, becoming more violent, more angry. Meanwhile, the other heroes rescued everyone around them. Spider-Man looked on terrified at Goku and his tremendous power. He didn't know the Saiyan had this in him. Spider-Man jumped down and rescued Mary Jane Watson from Goku's giant foot. Debris and rubble from the battle flew off everywhere, and the Invisible Woman was forced to create force shields around people so they wouldn't be hurt. Reporters from the Daily Bugle caught the whole thing on camera, taking pictures and writing down everything they saw. It was clear to them that Spider-Man may not be the real menace in this story. Cyclops was about to blast Goku and Vegeta to get them both to calm down, but Jean stops him. She knows how to handle Goku when he gets like this. Scott becomes red with jealousy and simply turns away. Jean focuses on the rampaging Goku, who at this point had turned away from Vegeta and begun attacking the buildings and heroes. She tapped into Goku's mind, allowing him to calm down. Everything became clear to Goku, who turned around to punch Vegeta. However, Vegeta stopped Goku's fist by blasting it aside. Vegeta then flew up to Goku's face, punching him to the ground. Jean screamed out Goku's name as the Saiyan reverted back into a base form, knocked out. Vegeta had such an incredible power.
Don't you see, humans? Even this Saiyan you accepted as one of your own stands no chance. No man can stand up against me.
Goku slowly regained consciousness as he stood up along with Jean, just to see a shadow looming over Vegeta. Vegeta turned around slowly as the cloaked figure stepped closer.
I am no man. I am Doom!
Vegeta's eyes widened as the machine came up from under Doom's cloak. It quickly started to pull at Vegeta, and he felt all of his power being drained away. All the cosmic energy being taken by Dr. Doom. Vegeta laid on the floor, defeated. Though still powerful, he was nothing compared to what he was, with his cosmic power. After all, he had become accustomed to the energy, so much so that he hadn't trained in many years.
You fool! Galactus is on his way! You truly have killed us all!
Vegeta says, but Doom simply looks up to the sky. The silhouette of a giant head pushed the clouds aside. Doom was determined to defeat whatever this threat was, and take over the planet. Doom rushed up to the face of Galactus.
My journey is ended. This planet shall sustain me until it has been drained of all elemental life. So speaks Galactus.
Meanwhile, Captain America and Goku apprehended Vegeta with the help of Scarlet Witch, who kept him in trance. Captain America and the rest of the Avengers insist on Goku watching over Vegeta, making sure he doesn't escape. Meanwhile, the rest of the heroes focused on Galactus. Doom stood face to face with the Planet Eater. Unafraid, unblinking, Doom felt the power of the universe flow through him. He was unstoppable. He rushed in to attack, but the galactic being simply scoffed at Doom. He humored him for a bit, as he didn't beat him down right away. The other heroes tried to do what they could to help, but nothing seemed to work. Meanwhile, Goku looked over at Vegeta. So many questions about his home world circled in his head, but he was too worried to ask.
This is no place for a warrior like me to die.
Vegeta exclaimed. Goku thought about what he said. A warrior. Of course, Xavier had told him that the Saiyans were a warrior race, according to what he read on Goku's mind. Goku hated being cooped up in there, while everyone else fought, just as much as Vegeta did. So, Goku stood up and looked over at Vegeta from the other side of the cell.
Then are you willing to die a warrior's death? Tell me, Vegeta, is fighting alongside your enemy better than dying in a prison cell?
Begrudgingly, Vegeta stood up and nodded. Goku ripped the cables from the control panel, forcing the cell open. Vegeta instantly rushed out to the battlefield, with Goku following close by. Just as they arrived, Dr. Doom was flicked down to Earth by Galactus. All of his power ripped away from him. As he fell, he was saved by Goku. Vegeta was already up to Galactus. He wasn't about to beg for his power back, but he wouldn't complain about getting it either. However, Galactus didn't give his power back. Instead, Vegeta was treated as a threat. Vegeta felt betrayed after his whole planet was sacrificed. It didn't matter to Vegeta. He didn't need that superpower anyways. After all, he was a Saiyan. Goku zoomed in next to him, and the two did what they could to keep Galactus busy. They both used their ki blast, along with the help of the Human Torch, Iron Man, and anybody else who could blast at Galactus. Goku and Vegeta were already hurt from their previous battle, but their pure will to live pushed them to their limit. But just for how long could they keep up? Reed was getting desperate. What was he supposed to do? There was only one option left in his mind: the ultimate nullifier. However, this device was very dangerous. It could potentially destroy the whole universe. Jean Grey, however, read just what he had in mind. She read everyone's ideas on how to stop him. They were all either stupid, wouldn't work, or were too dangerous. She could feel that Goku wouldn't last very long either. She cared about him, as he taught her just how brave a person with no one to rely on could be. She cared too much about Goku to let him sacrifice his life for nothing. Galactus finally grabbed onto Goku, staring at him deeply.
Do you possess the power I felt?
According to Galactus, he had felt a unique power like no other in Earth, and he assumed it was his. Then, Galactus realized he was wrong.
Hey, Galactus!
The voice of a girl echoed. No one else could tell, but Galactus knew. He felt the fiery aura around Jean. The power of immortality. If anyone was going to be his herald, it would have to be her. Galactus let go of Goku, bringing Jean up to him. But Jean simply stared back, talking to him only through her mind.
Very well, this planet shall be freed.
Goku then turned to Jean.
No, wait! Jean, you can't! What are you—
Jean motioned Goku to be quiet, smiling at him with a heavy heart. A tear ran down her face.
I will be back, Goku.
On Earth, Cyclops tried to yell at Jean, but to no avail.
No! No! I will become stronger than Jean, and I'll beat this guy! I'll free you from whatever he'll tie you to!
Jean nodded, caressing his hand. Goku tried to grab onto it, but Jean disappeared along with Galactus. Goku screamed out Jean's name as the sun shone once again. Everyone was heartbroken, particularly the X-Men. A few months passed, and Goku had left the Avengers. He had chosen to focus on training for a while. He started to travel all over the world, making his way to China. He heard from Iron Fist that there was a lot to be learned there. He said goodbye to his friends from every team, and finally made amends with Peter Parker. After Jean and Gwen's events, the two young men began to understand each other a little more. Vegeta, meanwhile, disappeared after the battle, though rumors arose that he was still around, training just like Goku, as he wanted to keep up with the only Saiyan survivor. Who was mentoring him was a mystery. However, unknown to both, on a planet far, far away, another Saiyan had survived. A banished Saiyan, the same age as Vegeta. He was spared by the natives once he crashed there. but only because of the symbiotic relationship they had together. His name was Broly.
Hey, it's me, Goku! The battle against Galactus left all of us distraught, but we can't stick our heads in the sand and do nothing. After a long time training Johnny Storm, Spider-Man and I decide it's time to have some fun and relax. But will everything go according to plan? Next time on Goku in Marvel Comics, the war begins! Goku in Marvel Secret Wars Part 1. Don't miss it!
Thank you for watching, guys. This was Goku in Marvel Comics The Origin Saga. I wanted to upload this combination of parts 1 and 2 before uploading part 3, aka Secret Wars Part 1. That video will be going live tomorrow, so look out for it. I know it was a long time coming, and I know I put this one off for a long time, but this is a really fun series to do, and it just takes a lot out of me because I need a lot of help with it, since the Marvel Universe is so large, and I have friends that know little bits and pieces of things more than I do here and there, so they help me out. Shout out to the Super Saiyan Legend members of the channel, Darko Roktansky, Daniel Dutton, Anthony Note, and Zachary Croy. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It means the world to me. If you would like to become a member and get a shout out like this, be sure to click the join button down below. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. The Dragon Ball question of the week this week is, what superhero team would you like Goku to take a part in? He's already been in the Avengers, kind of in the X-Men, and he is friends with the Fantastic Four. If not a team, then what superhero do you want him teaming up with? Leave it in the comments down below, start a discussion, and you may be featured in the next video. Oh, and before I forget, be sure to follow me on Twitter @Smugstick. Thank you for watching, guys, and until we meet again, see ya!
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Smugstick, unless you want to be destroyed.
Lord Beerus, that's hardly fair. But also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when he uploads new videos.